What's the most that you've ever squatted?
Ooh, 535 for a double.
535 for a double.
I've tried to put more on for a single and never hit it.
And that was the day your dad called you a soft ass bitch in 7th grade. You hit 535 for a double, and you've been chasing it ever since.
That was about 2 weeks after. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I've never had anything close to that on my back. I think 425 was my highest, and maybe a 365 front squat, 375 front squat. But for people who have never had 500 plus pounds on their back, what does it feel like having that on your shoulders and then trying to move that weight? Because it seems like just watching guys who have done it, and you would a lot of times train during the day when we would come in to make up lifts that we missed for class or something like that. So like I've seen you squat heavy weight, but like what does that actually feel like from an emotional, physical perspective to have that much weight on your back and then move it not once but 2 times?
Probably felt the same as 425 did for you.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel like, it was such a systematic increase, so long to get to that kind of weight that never really thought about it. There were always those milestone lifts, like the first time you hit 405, just seeing the 4 plates in the bar kind of, gets you kind of psyched out. Sometimes it could be a motivator. Sometimes it can mess you up. But I don't think I'm not impressive enough strength-wise to ever say, like, I've had so much weight on my back, it feels so much different than 315 or 405 or anything like that. You see some of those guys squatting over 1,000 pounds now. Putting that kind of load on your back, those guys would have a much better indication of, hey, heavy weight, this is what it freaking feels like. As far as putting 500 on your back, it feels just like 315 to a 315 squatter or 405 to a 405 squatter.
Yeah, but like you said, it's all relative. So if you have someone that's squatting 315 and that's their absolute max, and you have someone like Hathor Bjornsson, the mountain, he's squatting 1,030 pounds. It's different weight for sure, and 1,000 pounds is of course much more impressive than squatting 315. But I feel like there is some sort of relative connection between what it feels like physically and just from a gut standpoint, like an emotional standpoint of getting up a weight that you had previously never done. So physically you could see and you could look at the progression and you say, okay, last week I hit this. So if I follow my progression, statistically, I should be able to hit this now. I've been going up on a similar arc for months now. This makes sense. But then there's also that mental aspect of it where you feel it on your back and maybe your legs can handle it. It just like that extra shit of never doing it before. I feel like that connects all max lift of some sort, like doing something you've never done before, going into the unknown of what your body's capable of. Yeah,
that uncharted territory can freak you out a little bit.
Is there something that you do like a routine physically or mantra you tell yourself before you'd step under the bar to do something like a max lift, like before you lifted 535 2 times? Was there anything extra that you did before that you wouldn't do for a set of 10 for 225?
Back when I was younger, yes. I would take a shit ton of pre-workout. I would snap some smelling salts. I would put on the hardest, loudest music I could and get myself psyched out. Now when I'm going for PR, it's usually I'm listening to reggae or country. Just go about it as any other lift and try not to think about anything. I try to clear my head as much as I can and not pay attention to the weight on the bar. Yeah,
so it's interesting because sometimes I feel like when I would try to pump myself up too much, and this could apply to outside of the weight room, whether it's trying to throw a baseball hard or doing a sprint, doing a squat, trying to put myself into a place of being amped up to the max or amped up beyond a point that I've been amped up for. Because sometimes think, okay, I've never done this before, so I need to be in a place I've never done before energetically. And a lot of times I feel like it's almost wasted energy. Like the energy doesn't come back into you. You amp yourself up so much that maybe sometimes it even takes away from it. And then times I could think back to where I was very calm, very peaceful for whatever reason, still on 2.5 scoops of C4, but like maybe I wasn't blasting rap or metal. I was just kind of like in the zone, looking at the bar, had calmer music playing and hit it. I don't know, like for me, obviously it's personal, but I don't know if you've ever felt like you can pump yourself up too much for a lift and then it go against you.
Oh yeah, I did that to myself probably about a year ago. I think I was trying to squat 500 for the first time in a while, and I think I hit 475 like it was nothing right before it, and I was like, oh, this is going up, and I got myself all psyched up and bottomed out, and didn't even move that thing. And I think, there's definitely an optimal arousal level for everybody, and some guys it's a little bit higher than others. Like I said, it's going to be an individual thing. For me, it used to be freaking batshit crazy, and now I'm older, I've calmed down a little bit, so I think my choice of weight room music reflects that.
Yeah.